course, I'm going to tell you a story. There were these 4 religious educators at Ferry Beach, a UU summer camp in Saco, Maine. If you ever can go there, please do. It's beautiful. You camp right on the beach. We have a great time. And Maine is lovely. They all knew each other's work and had been involved not just within the church, but within our regional and denominational institutions and organizations. And for reasons that will remain secret to them, they made a vow on the beach that night to become ministers. Sounds like the great beginning of a sci-fi movie, right? The novices see the system that needs work and vow to go on the long road to ministry so that they can effect change from within. This is the classic hero and heroine's tale. It is a classic quest for change and justice. The Princess Leias and the Skywalkers take up the Jedi learning so that the teaching can be saved. But this is real life. And this story is true. This story is my story. And though it makes a good beginning to a novel, it is not really the beginning. My beginning is rooted in my religious roots and the religiousness of my ancestors. Real stories are rooted in the past, and they let us glimpse the future. They are journeys where the road is not marked and the way is not clear. Your journey is like that too, as a community. One day, a group of you and Reverend Sidney decided to get an intern. The reasons are shrouded in myth and legend, but I am here before you. But this road to having an intern is also rooted in your past and touched by the unknowable. You had an intern before 20 years ago, and she loved this area so much that she came back to be a minister in Corvallis. So this is a quest for connections, a quest for beginnings and endings of roads and of journeys and companions that we make along the way. I am happy to say, you are my companions. You have let me in, you have told me your stories, you have shared your loves, your hopes and fears with me. It has been my honor to share the road with you over this last year. This part of the journey is also about teaching and learning. We as a denomination are trying to do a good job training ministers. I believe in this process, and internships are an important part of leadership formation. Because of what I have learned from Reverend Sidney and from you, I feel more confident in my ability to be a leader in this historic changing times. You have shared your wisdom with me, and I will carry it forward to my next stage of learning. But as I wrote this, I thought of the times I had lost hope, when I had to overcome difficulties. The poet White said, "The journey took promises away and broke hearts." That is a part of ministry too. We are going to lose things, people and ideas we had about how our lives should be. Consequently, our hearts will break. We will miss each other. Today, we are saying our formal goodbyes. We are at a crossroads. You will have the opportunity to train up a new intern. I will move on to my last requirement for the Unitarian Universalist Ministerial Office and take my clinical pastoral training at Riverbend. There are hard lessons in letting go. It may seem strange to you that I can't come back for a year. Yet as I leave, it opens up space. It will open up a space for you to evaluate what about my ministry you liked and didn't like. You will be able to learn new things about being a teacher with a new student. For me, it will be the first time in 22 years I haven't worked for a church. I hope to take this time, this opportunity to reflect on my work and assess my own strengths and weaknesses, to see if church is the right place for me, or if I'm called to pastoral care or street ministry, or how the hell can I combine them all? Which is what I really want to do. And we as a denomination are looking at the very same questions about ministry. As baby boomers age and the upcoming generations change our social structures, we as a denomination are looking for ways to bridge the generations' needs. There are things afoot on this journey into the future, new learnings and new risks to be taken. And this is a story about risks, right? Right? Yeah. It's a story about risks. Life is about risks. Mary Oliver says, one day you will know what to do. You don't follow that bad advice in your head. The second story on my journey involves a bad breakup and a full scholarship to finish my undergrad degree. But it was daunting. You go, you fill out paperwork, which takes hours out of an already hectic life, and you wait. And you wait. And then you go stand in line in front of everyone. You find out if you are helped or hindered. The girl ahead of me in this line didn't get any scholarships. And when I heard this and her panic, and the woman's patient explanation, I thought it was all over for me. But when I got to the window, I heard her say only these words. These were the only words that kind of penetrated my anxiety. Full scholarship, and here's a voucher for the bookstore. Sometimes you win. And sometimes you have to try over and over and over again. I got the scholarship, but the girl ahead of me in the line didn't, and I think about that girl all the time. Remember, this is a true tale, and all along this journey, I have had things fall apart for me too. I have failed and had to go and get back up and try again. As in Star Wars, I have also watched some seminary students fall away or turn towards the dark side before their process was through. I watched 2 of my fellow seminary students die of cancer before they could finish their ministry. There were people who got cynical or weren't ready. Their ministry to those of us that remain were important too. We all have to ask ourselves, what am I willing to do to stay on this path? We as seminary students, you as teaching churches, and mentors like Reverend Sidney need to remember them as we move forward in our journeys, to remind ourselves that there are no guaranteed outcomes. So all along this road, we have to keep committing ourselves to ourselves and this movement. We need to keep saying yes. 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 Oh, come on. Yes. Thank you. Yes to life. Yes to the unknowable. And I have to admit, this is not what I had planned for myself. This is not one of the stories that was in the realm of possibilities. Girls did not hold the priesthood. I grew up in a house where boys were the heads of churches, Catholic and Mormon. This is why I am wearing my collar today. See? To remind myself that this is not the journey I would have taken. This is the story that I was never told. And I'm here for a reason. I am changing my family's story. I am blazing a path for other women in my life. I am becoming a minister to my future self. I know that our denomination's ministry's path isn't perfect, but I am a woman in the pulpit and I can wear a collar. There have been groups of people we have failed, and times when we ask too much from our leadership or expect too little. There are times when we take ourselves for granted. Yet we have been on the cutting edge in ministering to multiple races, gender identities, and economic statuses. Maybe not all at once, but if you look at our history, all of those pieces are real and true for our faith. As we open up leadership opportunities to these groups, we know we change who is in our pews and participating in our social justice initiatives by offering diversity in the pulpit. There are many, many seminary students who come from all walks of life, and I am extremely hopeful because of them for our faith. This week, I was happy to see we created a paid position for the liaison to Black Lives Matters. We are also funding through GoFundMe Faithfully a Burundian UU minister who is seeking ordination in Canada. We do have churches in other areas of the world. We have a big mission in India and in Burundi. You should go on our website and look it up. On this road to ministry, I have seen this path go through a few incarnations. And as some of you know, I am in the middle of the next incarnation. They changed the reading list for my final test to a better list. So of course I had to go out and buy all the new books. And they are better books. There are bumps, and I am on the lookout for guiding stars. But while I cannot always see the road under me, I know that I am not alone. All of you are with me. Reverend Sidney and the ministers who are involved in the process and my fellow seminarian travelers are there to help me navigate. There's always imperfection and change. But I have improved from my meeting. I have learned all of the practical things required to become a parish minister here. And you have learned how to teach all of the things that are required for that ministry. You have made me a better preacher, teacher, and listener. And I have brought to you an Eastern sensibility and a freshness that comes from new learnings and new ideas from seminary. We are all on a journey, and how we tell the stories of that journey matter. Does your story include mystery, traveling to distant shores or traveling over mountains to find meaning? Or does your journey take you down roads you have traveled all your life, to see the same people growing and changing over time, to come to new understandings right in your own backyard? I know you. I know you. I know the good that you do in the world. Take heart. Keep faith. Even if the road is not visible, you do make a difference. We both have stars to guide us and nature to inspire our worship and meditation together. One of the things I will never forget is the beauty of this place and the love you have poured into the transforming of this building and grounds. Your hope for a more visible ministry in this community. The amazing music I have heard in this space, and how everyone is open to new ideas from the pulpit. You came when I preached Jesus. You let me work out my own Unitarian Universalist theology, my own understandings of salvation, sin, heaven, and hell here. Together we explored old words with new meanings. So, the journey to ministry is a balance between the community and the individual's quest for new understandings. You took the risk in bringing me here, for something inside you said yes. You are now a part of the history of ministry, because the story is not ending here. You have a new intern coming. So now you are in covenant with the larger UU movement to sustain our future ministers by teaching here. You've made a covenant. And like the prophets of old, we students come bringing stories of a new age in our movement. We can show you a glimpse of where the road is leading, and you can help keep us grounded in the practicalities of everyday life. To remind us that we are called as ministers to walk beside you through your ups and downs in the road. That we as ministers are called to work on the road towards justice and equality for all of creation, sometimes leading, sometimes following, sometimes blazing a trail. We are all on a journey to find something better. But really, it is to find ourselves. The way forward always leads back to the center. In Star Wars, Luke and Leia have to find their father first before they could understand who they really were and what their purpose in the world was. I have discovered here my Western roots, and I have shown you your Eastern heritage from Boston, even if it was difficult. Because I am here, life is here. And because you are here, I am here. And now we will leave this place and go about our day to laugh and to cry and to live as we are. But here in this space, I would leave you with a blessing. O Spirit of the blazing stars and the winding roads, bless my people as they go on their way. May the raindrops fall lightly on your brow. May the soft winds freshen your spirit. May the sunshine brighten your heart. May the burdens of the day rest lightly upon you. And may the Spirit of life enfold you in love. Blessed be, and amen. As we
You see before you one person, but I am not one person. I am all of us. I represent the congregation at this moment, and I represent a congregation that is deeply grateful for this person. I represent a congregation that would like at this moment to give her the deepest and most appreciative thanks for the year she has spent with us. And I also represent a congregation that wants to celebrate with her and that wants to thank her for celebrating with us. So, Kimberly, please wear this stole as a symbol from your congregation. And know that every time you wear the stole, you wear us, and you wear the reminder of how much we love and appreciate you.
please join with me in singing our final hymn, number 1051, We Are.